Adventure is in my blood. Finding treasures big or small and having fun is what it's all about. With my wife Melissa and our 3 kids, life is pretty full. But there isn't a mountain we can't climb together. This isn't your ordinary antique store. My name is Alex Archbold and this is Curiosity Inc. Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of of some guy who has no idea what he's doing trying to fix up a house. I've got my brother-in-law with me today, Patrick, who's back there getting some insulation out. Last week we noticed that I have absolutely no snow up on the roof of the house, which means that my heat is escaping. So number one priority today is to insulate the attic a little bit better. So we're gonna unpack the insulation out of the old ambulance and get that going. Insulation is kind of staged on the landing before you go upstairs. I can show you what the dilemma is. This is kind of more of a third floor than it really is an attic. Proper staircase going up. There's no insulation at all. Normally what you do is you put the insulation down on the floor, but we have hardwood floors up here. So what we'll have to do is insulate between the joists. And basically you lay the insulation in between, you staple it across with poly, and then you tape all your seams. So I'm gonna leave Patrick up in the attic of the house here today to try and get this sealed up a little bit better. That's gonna be his job. I really didn't want to pick up the paint in Edmonton because it's so darn cold outside. If you remember last time, Josh's feet froze in the back of the ambulance and we had to stop and he had to warm them up with a hairdryer. Paint would probably freeze too, and that's going to change the consistency, and I don't know, it's probably not going to go on right. So I decided to stop at the local paint shop here in town, which was open today, and get our paint. So next stop, we'll be back to the house and hopefully get a little paint on the walls today. So how long have you had the business in town here?
Here, 32 years now.
32 years. Town in this area or house in this town must have your paint on their walls.
Pretty much they do, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're open today.
Thank you.
Check and see how Nat's doing. Busy working away. So it looks like you've got a lot of some of the final coats going on and just sanded down.
Absolutely.
That's looking good. I went out and picked up some paint just now. I'm going to start sanding in the other room and getting those walls prepped.
It's almost done.
Okay, yeah, I'll get cracking over there. Okay. We'll go upstairs and see how Patrick's doing.
Okay.
Alright, so we've got some of the insulation going up there. We'll probably notice a big difference in the temperature up here once that stuff goes in. And while Nat works in the next room and Patrick works in the attic, I'm going to start sanding the walls in the kitchen here to start laying some primer and some paint before Josh gets here and starts to put the cabinetry in. So that's what's next for me, getting the sander out. And while I wait for some of the spackle to dry on the wall, I noticed that my hot water tank is no longer here. So I'm gonna head downstairs and see if maybe the guys came and installed it while I was gone over the last week. It's at the bottom of the stairs. It looks like they're getting ready to install it. I have plumbers coming the next week or so. But I do notice one thing. My cracked sewer pipe is fixed and they said they flushed the lines all out, which is fantastic. So this guy's probably gonna come out next. We're gonna do some extra plumbing and vent this out. And yeah, next step will be plumbing and electrical pretty soon here. But just waiting for the guys to get it booked in. Okay, well, we got the first coat of primer on the walls. So that has to dry. This is a bonding primer that will bond with oil. After that's dry, we can actually start thinking about paint back in the kitchen again, which probably hasn't been painted in 40, 50 years, so excited about that. I'm gonna continue on the main floor. I have to TSP the other walls and get them prepped for paint, and then move some stuff out of the way and get ready for Josh, who's just about here. Josh has arrived with the materials to build the cabinets. They're just taking it all inside right now. I have to run out and get some more insulation because we are short, but there's a store in town that might have some, so I'm gonna go grab it. You got it, Josh.
Okay, so yesterday I go to Lowe's and get a bunch of hinges that I thought looked close to these ones, because we're modeling the kitchen cabinets off of this hutch, right?
Yep.
So I go and get like 20 of them, because we need like 40 or 50 of them or something like that. And I'm scrambling around going to all the Lowe's, and there's none left. So then I'm like, fine, I'll go to Rona. I go to Rona, and they don't have ones that match the ones that I already bought. So then I saw these, and I'm looking at your last episode, taking screenshots and zooming in, trying to figure out, they kind of look the same, but it turns out they're exact.
Yeah, it's just about an exact match. That's about as close as you're gonna get, isn't it?
Yeah, the only difference is these are kind of curved and stuff. These are straight.
That's gonna be perfect.
So they're probably made by the same people or something like that.
That's cool. That's great.
Yeah, so.
And we even got these door pulls almost the same too, didn't we?
Yeah, we got ones that are pretty close to that. They're just
Look at brass, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a little different, and they're brushed. So
that's fine. That's sweet. That's awesome.
yeah.
And Josh is gonna go and try and dig the kitchen sink out of the snow. It's frozen out there pretty good. And I said, why don't you wear a warmer coat? And he's like, nah, I don't need a warmer coat.
Continuity for my video.
Yeah, he's doing his own little video of this too, because he's I don't think built too many kitchens before. So he's chipping it away. And while he freezes out there digging that sink out, when you're ready, Josh, I'll come help you bring that in.
Okay.
I'm gonna go inside and start prepping the walls. And the plumbers are here as well, doing a pressure test on the lines to see what we need to repair. Now you might ask yourself why you're having plumbing done when you've still got all this other work to do. Well, the sooner we can get working plumbing in the house, the better, because the hotel rooms are costing me a fortune, and this place is just about ready. We have heat, we have electricity, we don't have water. Once we get that, we can actually stay here, and I can get the family to come out and see too. So lots of reasons why I want plumbing to work. Working bathroom would be nice too, so we don't have to keep running to the hotel. So they're gonna have a look at it and see just how bad it is, or hopefully how good it is, and then we'll check out what some of these stains are in the roof and maybe fix those too. So I gave the walls a bit of a wipe with the TSP. It's extra strength, so you gotta wear gloves when you do it, which I am, because it is corrosive. But that's a really good degreaser, so it helps clean the surface. And now I'm doing some edging in the corners just to start getting it ready for when I'm gonna bring the roller out. I've gotta do all along the tops and around the windows. So I'm gonna do this coat first, and then afterwards, after you've got the edges all done and the corners done, you can roll it on. Taking a little bit of heat to get that thing out of there, so trying to thaw the ground out underneath it to get this thing out. There we go. Oh, this board here?
No.
On the inside? Oh, okay. Yeah, the old cleaners. And who knows what that red stuff is. Buried in the wall for years, hey?
It's got a tag inside of it.
Well, I mean, she did a lot of pottery, so there's all sorts of hidden stuff around here. Winding down at the end of the day at the hotel, and I got a call from a local who has some items for sale they want me to come check out. And I'm never one to turn down an opportunity to find something cool. They asked me if I'd be able to find their address okay, and I'm pretty sure I can, since there's only about 5 streets in this town. We shall track it down. So we have a rock tumbler, probably 1960s or 70s, judging by the looks of it. It looks like people in the area here were probably pretty crafty, considering the amount of potters and artists and people tumbling rocks. A bunch of early bottles. I'm always looking for the ones that are more in the lines of like a, you know, one that has a skull and crossbones, or old medicine bottles. A lamp with no shade, which still can have some value. You can get a shade for it. And a German 1930s pin that, you know, pre-war piece. So a little variety of things. So we'll see what we can do. So these guys were nice enough to let us look in their crawl space. And there's remnants of what looks like a bicycle down there. An old boy's bike.
That's a neat piece.
Yeah, well, is there any other stuff down there? Or?
There's the harrows back there. Actually, maybe that's
what?
Harrows?
No harrows for...
Oh, jeez.
Anything buried back here? You got like a hole.
Hey, there's a
Chip.
shovel.
Did the previous owner ever tell you what happened to her husband?
She could be under here. Or he could be under here, I mean.
Well, I did end up with the rock tumbler and some of the other collectibles that came out of that house, so it goes to show you never know what you're going to find. And Josh got something too. What'd you get, Josh? Yeah, he decided to get the Agorol laxative. So if Josh offers me something to eat later tonight, I'm probably going to pass, no offense, but I'm going to be measuring how much of that stuff is left in that bottle. What are you going to do with it?
I'm probably gonna make like a metal hand that's gonna hold it. Like a skeleton hand or something.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of cool ideas.
It's a neat piece.
Yeah, a skeleton hand that needs laxative. Why not? So even Josh got something out of the trip today. Back at the house again tomorrow morning, and this time Josh is going to get busy chopping up some wood with his chop saw and getting things cut down to start laying the kitchen in place. I'm excited. Well, it's the next morning. We're here grabbing breakfast. And I went out to start the car because it's minus 42 degrees. And I know that that's pretty much the same in Fahrenheit or Celsius when it gets that cold. But the old ambulance would not start. We tried boosting it. I brought a booster pack with me, it still wouldn't go. So we've had to resort to either walking. There's one cab that may or may not be working in town, but thankfully the waiter at the restaurant here, the fellow that's working, he's offered to drive us. That's just how great small towns can be. So he's gonna take a couple minutes out of his shift and drive us to the house. So big thank you here to the hotel. They're simply amazing. But we're gonna get over there this morning and get working on the house. Thankfully, I had a fellow named Radar, or at least with the nickname Radar, who was able to start my car with his van, and we've got it boosted. It's just warming up now, and we'll be headed over to the house shortly. Thanks for the kindness of strangers. It said do not disturb on your door. So guess what I did? I didn't disturb.
Yeah, but that was for the housekeeper, so they wouldn't clean my room for no reason. I don't just like reclaim and upcycle materials. I also don't like make people wash sheets after one use.
I listen to signs. So your truck won't start?
It won't start. I got a beef with this cold. It's so cold that it hasn't started for like 3 days. I've had to have a boost.
Mine started no problem.
This is a classic.
Hopefully it starts. Oh, I see exhaust. Hopefully it doesn't die. It died. There it goes. Okay, we'll let his truck warm up for a bit and then we'll head back over. And although the temperature is currently now dropped to minus 45 degrees, I'm gonna crawl up and check out the secret attic, the other hatch, and see if there's anything inside. So I had a aluminum ladder sitting next to the house, which should do the trick. I have to be careful because my power line is right next to it. Now they've pinned it back up on the roof, which is good, but I still don't want to get too close to it. So I'm gonna have to be very, very gentle as I go up there. Okay, I've got the nails out. Let's see, hopefully no animals come shooting out of here at me. Ooh, there's a hornet's nest though. Gross. Okay. Let's see what's up here. Well, it's the one part of the house that isn't completely full. It's surprisingly large up here, but nobody's actually stuffed it full of really anything. It looks like my insulation is just wood chips or wood shavings, which is what they used to do. So I'm sure this can stand for some better, maybe some spray insulation before too long, but nothing up in the old attic. Yesterday I was able to get a lot of fresh paint put on the walls in the downstairs, and it's looking really great. I'm gonna start working my way through the back kitchens today, but it's been a little bit dusty with all the work and construction that's going on naturally, so I'll have to get my dust mask back on. And many of you watching at home have said, oh, look at all the orbs, there's stuff going on in the house. There's been no sign of any haunting whatsoever in the house, no signs of ghosts. It's been completely normal here. We've had no issues. So not sure what the concern is, but the place has been fantastic. We're gonna continue on in the kitchen and go from there. Josh made it here safely. His truck is running again, and while he starts work in the kitchen, I'm starting to work in the side room, which is going to be the mudroom / laundry room. My mission is to get it sanded and painted today. That's what I'd like to do. And I'm painting it actually kind of the same color. It's going back to this sort of green color, which I really do like. It is period for the home and doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna start sanding, get everything ready, and start the work on paint. Go see how Josh is doing. How are things going? Oh, you got some framing happening.
Yeah, I'm just, this is going to be the lean bar height. Call it a lean bar, but there's going to be stools because it's kind of inconvenient to eat your breakfast here, and this is a little high. But it kind of has to be this high because the sink we're using has a backsplash that is going to come up to this height. So this is just my reference piece.
Yeah, it's not the finished countertop, obviously.
Yeah, so it's going to come up to like here or so.
Okay.
And this is just to give me some looks, see what it'll look like. I think it's going to look good.
And this is the side we're going to stick the door on, the outside, right?
Yeah, the door is going to go, it's going to be recessed into here, which is why I'm building this pony wall. Well, the pony wall, it had to be built anyways. Then there's going to be another wall built in here to hold up the sink because the sink is heavier than...
Yeah, I know it's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. And
this also acts as a room divider too, really.
Yeah, it's going to look good if we put lights here.
And we're doing the beam up top at some point.
On the, yeah. We had to keep changing the plans for that. Hopefully we come up with something good. First coat of primer is done in what used to be the green room, the other kitchen. We had to let this dry. There's a few other cracks I had to fill. And while those are drying, I'm going to start working through some of the other rooms. I've aged considerably. The dust has gotten in my hair and I look like an old man. And Josh is busy working away in the other room. And what's funny about Josh is that he kind of talks to himself the whole way through. So he's having conversations and I'm always like, what? And he's like, oh no, I'm just talking to myself. But he likes to say things out loud like he's in an action movie, like bam, or nailed it. Like you just hear him like having celebrations over there, which is great. He's talking to himself.
Are you playing peekaboo? Because I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got a pony wall built. And kind of a creative design. He's insetting the door in that little pocket right there. So it won't be extruding. This is going to be a lean bar. That's why it's so high. You can put your elbow on it and have a couple drinks. Yeah, well, it's looking good. I especially like that exposed copper pipe that people seem... Josh is in love with having an exposed pipe, by the way. So if it's hideous and horrible at the end, we can always cover it. But for now, we're going to leave it as part of the design. Primer is on and dried. Now for the new paint, Teal Zeal. Just a little bit different. It's a little bit more of a blue tinge than the old wall. Should look pretty good. Almost reminds me of 57 Chevy blue. That's what's next. Now let this coat dry. It's funny, I haven't seen Patrick in a while. I'm gonna go up in the attic to make sure he's okay. See how it's going. House is feeling a little bit warmer. Went out and pulled the furnace filter out and it was clogged like a piece of cake with all this drywall dust. So luckily we've got quite a few furnace filters on hand and have to keep changing them out every so often. How's it going, Pat? Well, it's... Woo!
Standing on your head.
I can see that. Okay, I'm gonna come up quick.
Oh, no, just standing.
Looks like a nice little insulated fort up here. It's definitely warmer. You can notice a difference right away. There's the man. As Josh starts to work his way through the kitchen, we found a couple things. One, the room has a bit of a slant. This addition on the house has started to slant just a little bit. It's slight, let's say. Now that is repairable by jacking up the house. The challenge with that is that all of the plaster is probably gonna crack like crazy and add a lot more expense onto the project, which frankly I don't have. So we're making some adjustments with the cabinetry to ensure that they're level when they go in. And it really shouldn't be that noticeable or noticeable at all once you're in the house and in the kitchen. So Josh is working on the plan and we're starting to get things in place. The last hour, I'd say, I've been working in the main floor washroom. This is the green washroom. Everybody seems to love the tiles here, and I like them too. We're planning on leaving them. But we had to take out the old flooring that was in here and the subfloor and found out that there was hardwood floors underneath. So I'm gonna try and get them finished today so that tomorrow when the plumbers come back in, this floor will be dry and hopefully they can actually plumb up the toilet and the bathtub again. So a little bit more work to do, but I'm gonna start laying everything down very quickly and excited to see the results. And I even don't mind the fact that you can see the old hatch in the floor. In fact, when the toilet's back in place, you won't be able to open it. But as people are sitting there over the years, they'll always wonder, I wonder what's down there. Meanwhile, there's progress in the kitchen. So Josh, walk me through what you got going on in here.
Okay, so this is the layout that we're going for, obviously. I still have to build a cabinet under here, but we had to beef it up. This thing weighs like 150 pounds or 200 pounds or something like that. So I wanted to do it with some lumber. But over here, dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Right here we have our little pan cubby thing, whatever.
Baking sheets, baking
Yeah,
pans.
we're reclaiming that old dresser that you found. Some of the drawers. We're gonna use 2 of the drawers. One right here. Needs some fine tuning, I guess. Oh no, it doesn't actually. I'm not done this one yet. So there's that. Then I gotta cut another one to put into here. Fridge will go here. And then that cabinet in the basement, once we fix it up, will go there. We have to still see if it's worth saving, but.
And lower cabinets are coming along nice. And then what do we have planned for up top?
Oh yeah, upper cabinets. So we're going to use the plywood, stained plywood that you found for some of the cupboard
The
shelves. They're gonna go almost to the ceiling, but with a piece of trim on top. Down to here or so. Little cabinets up here. Gotta find a place for a microwave somewhere.
And we were thinking maybe microwave above the stove because we're gonna have a lower.
Right.
Or do you think that's gonna be too high?
Right. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. But fridge, we're gonna put cabinets up there now. We decided, and then cabinets all the way to the gray paint. Then we gotta put in our beam. Then we can do the countertops, and the countertops are just going to be laminated SPF, and I think it's going to look super cool.
We basically have today and tomorrow to get this done. You think it's possible?
Yeah, we'll just have to work till 11 o'clock again.
Yeah, to get it done. And the stove fits in there nice. That is the original stove that we decided to reuse. Gas line is all rerun for it, and we had a guy check it out, so if anybody's watching, we did have the gas lines checked out, and they put a new shut-off valve and everything in the stove, so it'll be good to go. Looking good. So we are working away in the kitchen here, and we hear a knock on the door, and a lovely lady, her name was Rita, I think.
Rita,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Rita pops in, and she's brought us homemade apple crisp and even homemade, well, as homemade as whipped cream can be. So she brought us a meal, so it'll be the first meal I think we're gonna have in the kitchen, which is pretty cool. And it's warm too. It's like just made apple crisp. Ooh, you guys want to take a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cleaning out the upstairs room so they can start drywalling in here. Looks to be some old pinking shears. Yep. And a Singer buttonhole attachment in the box. Yeah, it's in there. Put that aside because I'm sure somebody will probably want to buy that at some point. Move all these little bits and odds and ends. It looks, oh, that looks like one of Mary's drawings, actually. Have to keep that somewhere safe. I have a plan to reuse some of the items that were in the house, which is kind of strange when you buy a home and it's full of things that you can actually pick and choose from different rooms and reuse them. But if you recall the old curtains that were upstairs in the bedroom, there are these ones right there. I have an idea for those, then I think they'll look pretty cool. So I noticed outside, there's a big long cabinet that looks like it came from a grocery store that Mary herself upcycled, and we have a use for that. I think that would be perfect in the new mudroom to put your shoes on. So I'm gonna see if we can't drag this thing around, put it through the other side and get it in place. So I'll obviously need to clean it up, but the idea is maybe, you know, some hooks for your coats to hang up top with a shelf above. And then if you've got a big family with lots of feet, you've got lots of room for your footwear. I think it'll work out well. There. Well, I think Mary would like these curtains considering she picked them out originally. And this mid-century pattern is still very much in fashion right now. The colors, sure enough, work really nicely with the wall, and I think it's coming together well. I'm gonna check on the other guys and see how they're doing. And I've come down to the basement to try and scrounge for a little bit of trim to go over top of the old bathroom door. So this is probably off of one of the windows or doors. So I'm gonna take a couple different lengths up and see if I have one that'll work. So I do want to upcycle and use the old trim in the basement. I've scraped some of the loose paint off. Problem is it's too long, which means I've got to pop the trim off the top and then shave it down. Get the hammer out, wedge this apart. I should be able to saw it off. And it's the bathroom door that doesn't have any trim. We're trying to put the old trim back on. Didn't have the original piece, sadly, so we're having to improvise using an original piece. So we've measured it off to make sure it doesn't impede the light switch. Challenge is it's quite a bit longer, so we're gonna have to remove this last little bit off, shorten it down. So we're just clamping the top back on. I know that thing says Irwin, but I'd name it Jed.
Yeah, of course you would.
Because it'd be Jed Clamp it. So before I get this trim piece back up, a couple things have to happen. One is I have to pre-drill some holes in it because this wood is really dry, and I'm kind of concerned that if I don't pre-drill, it's going to crack it apart. The other is I have to paint it and get it ready. So I'm going to do those things before I put it up. Well, things are looking pretty good. The trim is back above the door. I've just got it primed right now. I'll paint that up tomorrow. And was so glad that we were able to cut down and reuse that piece of wood, and it will have that vintage look that will match the rest of the house. There is one little dilemma. We're not going to be using this as a door anymore. The reason they had this divided was because they had it sublet as an apartment on the other side for a period of time. So this has to come out and we have to arch it kind of like we did over there. But that probably won't happen this week because we are running low on time and we've only got a little bit of time tomorrow. I'm hoping I can ask the plumbers if they come back to put a toilet and a bathtub in here and actually get the water working in this place so I don't have to stay at a hotel forever. But all in all, a good night. And time to call it a night. Well, I'm the first one up this morning. It's the last day at the house. I think everybody's getting pretty worn out after the last couple of days. Working till 10:30 p.m. last night. I know Josh and I were both kind of staggering around a bit. You shouldn't be working power saws when you're that tired, so definitely had to call it a night. This morning, went to get in the shower. It was freezing cold. And it wasn't warming up, but I thought, oh no, I gotta wash my hair at least anyway because I was full of plaster. So I stood outside the shower and wrapped my head in the shower curtain, kind of like started washing it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well it's getting a little bit warm, so I jump in, and then it went from like freezing cold to tea kettle in like 2 seconds. So then you get the mad panic dash to get out again. So I'm awake, probably more awake than Patrick and Josh are this morning. We'll see how the guys are doing and then head back over there. Hopefully the new insulation helps with this icicle problem. Hey, look at that thing. Jeez. And Nat had to head back to the city, but we did find some local contractors. Hey Carmen, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Looking pretty sharp?
Yeah, coming along not too bad.
Yeah, this room was pretty rough. Was this the worst room out of the ones upstairs?
Probably the one next door is a little bit worse than this one, but
Oh, well.
mine's a muddy, so.
Well, you got experience. You said 20 years in the business?
Yep, been here 20 years, yep.
And your daughter's now starting the trade too?
Yeah, you bet.
She's in the next room working over there?
Yep, you bet.
That's fantastic, yeah. Well, it's looking good. I'm excited to come back and see what it looks like next week.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been working on getting the bathtub painted up before it goes in. May as well put a coat of paint on it before you have it in. That way you can get both sides and the underneath, which probably never gets painted on these things. Plumbers are supposed to come at some point later today and actually install it, so I'm hoping the paint dries before they get here. This is truly an exciting moment because the water is getting turned on to the house for the first time in probably, 3-4 years. I'm a little bit nervous. We're gonna have some leaks, but I have plumbers on hand who have assured me they've capped everything off. The mission today is to try and get the upstairs bathroom, well, the main floor bathroom working, which I was working on yesterday. So we've got the floors all ready to accept the tub. I've been working on the tub and got it kind of painted on the other side. So things should be more or less ready to go in. Assuming there's no major leaks, we're gonna run some new lines up, and maybe by the end of the day, we'll be able to actually use this bathroom. Be pretty excited. So we think we have water on right now.
I turned it somewhat, but with that fence in the way, I'm gonna have to go get a longer.
Well, there's something happening. Oh yeah, some sludge. Some nice gross. Ew. I was down looking in the old tool room and I think I saw something that I need for later. This little guy right here, these are all the extra hooks, but there's one in particular that matches exactly what I've got going on in the mudroom. So I'm gonna see if it fits, take it upstairs. Sadly, the plumbers got called away for an emergency job, so my thoughts of getting a working washroom on this trip are squished. That said, they're planning on coming back throughout the week and hopefully getting this hooked back up again. I would love to be able to stay in the house. I am happy, however, with the work we've accomplished. Josh did a fantastic job getting the bones of the kitchen in place, including the upper countertops, the old sink dragged in from outside, and the old stove plumbed and hooked up. We have a lot more work to do, but things are really starting to take place in the house and it's really starting to feel homey. So stay tuned for next week as we work on the kitchen, I get some extra painting done, and we see if we can actually spend a night in the old house for the first time. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.